but we're just going to, hello, we're live.
Everyone, we're live.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, one and all. Come on in.
It's super secret surprise time. I'm excited.
I'm always excited.
I know. It's just I get to share I get to share surprises, which is my favorite part of my job. All right. So, Catherine, thank you so much for bringing us all together. I think we should introduce ourselves for the audience that may not know who we are. So if you have found us here on YouTube, my name is Becca Brinkmeyer. I am an author coach and instructor here at AutoCrit, and it's so nice to see you today.
And I am Kevin, and I am the head of the product development team here at AutoCrit. I wear many hats, so I'm not sure what hat I'm wearing each day. But today I'm head of product development, and I'm super excited about all the amazing things going on at AutoCrit. I'm here to talk about today. So there you go, Becca.
All right, fantastic. Well, we have been up to so many things, have we not? This
Yes.
Start to the fall season. It is so exciting, and I just want to jump right into it because I can't keep secrets any longer. So let's just start off with the beginning is that AutoCrit was created by authors for authors. And the reason I want to start with that is because there is a lot of intention behind every new product and every new development and every new thing that we add to AutoCrit. We want to make this useful. We want to make this something that is relevant to our author community. And that is really, really important to us here at AutoCrit. As an author myself, I write full time. These are things that we find that I find personally very useful to my work. So this is something that we wanted to kind of stress. So that is my little spiel here, and we have our plot twist. So let's get into it. Do any of these problems feel familiar? You can tell us in the chat, but has anyone been in the position where you're like, I can't find feedback that I can trust. I can't find the right alpha or beta readers that it just feels impossible. I have people that will read my work, but they just give me feedback that is useless or something that is nice, but it's not actionable. My favorite beta reader feedback, and I do use that sarcastically, is that they say, it was fine. Well, I can do nothing with it was fine. I don't want my work to be described as it was fine. Instead, I want my work to have be the best product that I can put out there, and I want actionable feedback. And that is very hard to find. Then we have what I fondly refer to as analysis overload, right? This is where you have too much data. And I know for my fellow data nerds, you're like, never. There is never too much data. But sometimes all of the data at once can result in kind of a decision paralysis moment, where if you have, let's say, a whole cloud of different data points that you're looking at and different feedback and analysis of your work, and it's all this information, sometimes the lack of clarity and interpretation of that and actionable strategies in that information can make you feel frozen because you're like, great, I know all of this. It must actually just mean that this is trash. I should set it on fire. I'm never writing again. I wonder how hard it would be for me to change careers to be an accountant. Now, no one in their right mind ever wants me to be their accountant. I'm not a numbers person, but I am someone who has learned to love data, and I think that data should give us clarity and not headaches. I think you would agree with me, would you not, Kevin?
Well, for sure. Otherwise, you can be awash in just letters and numbers. And if they don't mean anything, then all they are is it's a time waste, and that's what we don't want to do.
No, we want actionable insights. And you're going to hear me say that word several times during this stream because actions are what I'm seeking as an author, a full-time author, is I need to know what I need to do to move to the next step. And the other problem, number 3, marketing insights. Has anyone ever felt like their book is just floating along in the void of millions of other books? and you're like, I don't know, I wrote a good book. I want my audience to read it, but I have no idea how to get said book to audience. Positioning feels like learning a different language sometimes. A lot of us as creatives, we are really, really great at writing the book. Our creativity knows no bounds. We lack, a lot of people don't lack for ideas. It's really more of a time issue. But when it comes to things like marketing positioning and figuring out how to sell our book and figuring out how to do market research and how to get those insights needed to actually sell our book, that feels like we're learning a different language. Does that feel relatable to anyone? I know that that is something that I've had to teach myself over the last 15 years. I did the math, 15 years this year of being in this industry. And it does feel like it's changing all the time. So, oh, I am in, hold on. My mouse is doing something silly. Okay. We've got a drum roll moment. We're here to hopefully change some of that for you, our favorite authors. So I do have a very exciting thing to introduce to you, and I do want a virtual drum roll. So if you guys can give me a virtual drum roll, I'm not going to do that because it'll be super loud on my actual desk, and I don't want to hurt your hearing. But virtual drum roll moment. Introducing Build an Alpha Reader. This is one of our newest features here at AutoCrit. I think, have we had this out now for a week? Is that about right?
It's been out for a week successfully. So
successfully,
fingers crossed.
yes.
Successfully. So so far it's been a successful launch. No big issues at all. So it's been amazing. Our users are going at it right now and having a blast.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually at a conference right now. I'm coming to you from my hotel room, and I have been playing with Build an Alpha Reader all morning because it is such a amazing tool. Now, I don't know who here is using alpha readers regularly, but sometimes getting the right feedback from your alpha reader or even finding someone to alpha read can be incredibly challenging. And as a reminder, alpha readers are different than beta readers. Alpha readers are going to be the people that read that messy draft after you finally finished it. So before you've started your revisions, before you've started any of your editing, you might have an alpha reader who is going to be, I like to call them the early warning system. They're the folks that are going to help you catch those big picture issues before you go through all of the editing process. One thing I hate is rewriting, especially after I've gone through multiple editing rounds. I don't want to rewrite if I'm in line edits. Nope, we're done. We don't want to do that. So this is an alpha reader who's going to give you that kind of big picture information. And we are so excited to announce that you can build your own alpha reader team right inside of AutoCrit, and you get to customize all of it. We did create a bunch of genre and both fiction and nonfiction and different levels of templates for different kinds of feedback, but they are completely customizable. If you have specific feedback that you want about your story and about your work, this is something that you can build out inside of AutoCrit. You can specify genre, you can specify age group, interests, you name it. You build your perfect alpha reader for your work, because what you need is going to be different than what I need based on the insight that we need. It's going to be different than what Catherine needs when she has her work going through here. I want to stress this because we want this to be useful to you. We want you to have the actionable insight and feedback that you need to make your work the best you can. And the best part is we're not waiting for like 5 weeks anxiously for someone to give us any feedback and then they come back with like 6 words. Like, I think you should change the eye color of so and so. That was actual feedback I once got, and that was like, cool, noted, thank you. That anything else? Eye color was the only issue. Am I actually more like absolutely brilliant that that's the only issue in this manuscript? Or are you just like, no, I think he should have green eyes? So this is feedback you can actually use, and it's feedback that you can customize. And there's no waiting, there's no guesswork, and there's no limits to this. You can build your own small army of alpha readers if you wish. So without further ado, I think you should look at it because you can hear me yap all day, but let's see it. Here's a demonstration. Kevin, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, sharing my screen.
I hope you guys are excited because this is so cool. I'm a little bit of a nerding out every time I play with it. I think, do you guys still see my screen?
Do you guys see my screen now?
I don't see yours, Kevin.
Hold on, pulling it up.
Catherine to the rescue.
It says I'm sharing.
There it is.
We're sharing.
All right, great. So AutoCrit, if you're not familiar with it, you can plan, you can write, you can edit, you can publish. I'm not going to go through all that stuff because it's a fully functional writing ecosystem here. I'm going to show you just the new features and what is Becca so wonderfully stated. We're going to talk about how impactful alpha readers can be in your writing. So the first thing we do in AutoCrit, you can either write in AutoCrit, or in this case, I'm going to I'm going to copy and paste in a classic work that is copyright free. It's open source, so it's this is The Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. So no issues there with displaying this on the World Wide Web. All right. So once you get your text pasted in, and just I get questions like this all the time. Well, how much can I write epic fantasy? It's 250,000 words. There's no word limits. You might have to wait a few extra seconds to get any type of feedback or work in the system with larger files, but there really are no file size limits. So just want to get that out of the way. So in this case, we're looking at about 70,000 words, just under 70,000 words. Okay. So we're going to do an alpha read of this. So let's copy and paste in, or however you get your text in there. We're going to click on this button here and click on alpha read. Now, you haven't picked a reader yet. That's one of the coolest parts, as Becca mentioned. Inside of AutoCrit, you're going to be able to build or select your ideal reader for the text that you're looking for. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select a reader. And I have saved readers here. You can have as many saved readers as you want. And you'll notice we're going to create a couple of readers today, but you can have a whole library or army or team if you prefer, whatever word you like to use.
It's going to be army, Kevin. It's my alpha reader army.
Alpha army, or it's your
Yes.
gaggle of geese, perhaps. I'm not sure. Whatever group term you like to use, you can use it. But let's go ahead and start right now. You're probably going to have that blank at the start because you haven't saved anybody. So we're going to go with reader templates at the start. And these are the ones that Becca mentioned that we've kind of curated automatically, that we thought they might be helpful to get started from. So we have some genre readers like a cozy mystery, fantasy. We also have people that would be, an adventurous beta reader or an analyzer type beta reader or big picture. So we kind of picked some current, I guess, archetypes of readers you might want to start from, so you don't have to start from scratch, especially in the beginning. So for this case, let's go ahead, and since it is I don't know, kind of a fantasy-esque or historical, let's go with fantasy. Why not? We'll click on fantasy reader here, and the first thing it's going to do is going to pop over kind of the default text that we pre-populated. But don't worry about it. If you want to change it, put my name up there. You change the name. You can change anything you're looking for here. This is all editable fields. So on the profile of the reader themselves, you can change it. You can change, these are the questions that they're going to ask when they read the book. And also, perhaps importantly, depending what you write, there's also content boundaries of how much violence, gore, sexual content, language, things like that are in your story. What this reader is comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with is stated down here at the bottom. So by all means, if this isn't an issue, just go ahead and delete it, or you can add whatever specific thing that might be appropriate to the writing that you're doing. Okay, so after you get your reader where you like them, just click create, and now this reader is going to pop right up here. And if you ever forget what was in there, you can see the review of what that reader is, and click start reading. That's it. It's that simple. It's one click of a button after you've picked who it is. And you can have, at any one time, you can have up to 5 alpha readers in the system looking at a specific piece of writing. So I can add another one while that's running there. I can just click, let's read I'll create this reader. I'll create that one. And there you go. I have another reader, and I can go ahead and start reading. So you can have readers reading at the same time. You see little wheels spinning. You can toggle back and forth as this populates. Now, it might take a minute or two, depending on how much writing you have, because you got to understand, we're actually reading your entire work. We're not reading the headlines. We're not reading a paragraph. We're reading everything, every single period and T and whatever else is in your we're reading it. Okay, so that's important to know. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So that's why you can bounce around. You can work on other things while that's going, and it'll come back and it'll pop up. Now, you'll also notice that I've created these readers. Next time you go in your My Saved readers, they're going to be in there. Anybody that you've created or saved in your account. So you can call them up, and on the next work or the next writing or the next book in the series, you can use that same reader you've created. So you don't have to keep doing this every single time you log into AutoCrit. No, you're going to have your army of readers that you've created are going to follow you throughout AutoCrit and throughout all your files. So that's super helpful to know. And like, oh, I have to do this every. No, these are, it's like saved with your account. You're all good. Let me close this and see if we have any feedback yet. Not quite yet. All right. Because I knew it was going to take a second, I'm going to go ahead now and bounce to a file that I've already had completed. So let's go ahead and run over here to another tab where I had some other readers read it. In this case, I had a science fiction read the same book, right? And it's Treasure Island. Science fiction reader. Like the story, gave you a 97%. So there's going to be two numbers at the top here. You're going to have a story. How well was it written? How was it crafted? Was it paced? Was it legible? Was a lot of, it has just how polished was the work? And then the next is the reader fit. Is this typically what that reader reads? Is this what they look for? This is what they enjoy to read. So in this case, the story was well written. Well, it's a classic, right? It's been polished many, many times over. I don't know what edition it's in now, but I'm sure everything that has been it's a classic for a reason. So it's going to score really high with regard to the story. And as a reader fit, it's kind of a little bit above average. It's just it's a science fiction reader. There's no real science fiction in that at all. Though there's some fantasy elements to it for sure, and there's some adventure and things like that. So it was just kind of a so-so, right? It's not really, it nails some things, but it doesn't match my primary taste for speculative systems and what if extrapolation. So it was kind of okay. Now I figured, well, let's go ahead and we had a reader after we launched this over the week. Said, you know what? I use characters from the story to actually read the book for me. So I created a profile of Long John Silver, who is the antagonist. So I said, what if Long John Silver read the book about himself, or where he was the antagonist, and he absolutely loved it. The story was still pretty high, but reader fit was 97%. Loved the story. And you also notice that in addition to giving you feedback, hopefully it's written in first person and it's in a voice of that person. So in this case, Long John Silver being a pirate, the feedback is and uses a lot of nautical terms and pirate terms in it. So it's kind of fun. So you can have, I don't know, a police officer read your book, a police procedural, and they'll give you their feedback as it's written from that profession. And so that the language and the tone and the feeling of it should come to you in that fashion. And so in addition to it being fun and interesting, it's hugely insightful when you start picking your target audience and who you want this to actually read, who wants to actually read your work. So I hope that makes sense.
And then, Kevin, can I jump in real fast and say
Sure,
that this was a question that I got while I was here? I'm at Moonlight and Magnolias, the Georgia Romance Writers Conference, and one person said, this sounds really cool. I write historical. Do you think I could create an alpha reader that is like a professor who's an expert in that era that I am in? And to that, I say, yes, you can give the demographics of whomever you would like to alpha read for you. That's that's the kind of customization that you have available to you.
So let's say I have this reader, the biography reader. You just click this little button, you can edit it. You can go in here, and at the beginning, you say, I am a police officer or whatever, right? You can tell the system what knowledge your audience would have and or doesn't have. I have no understanding of geologic events, and maybe you have a volcano that erupts in your story, and you want to make sure that you want to come across as somebody that has no understanding of why that would have happened. I don't know. So you can the beauty of this is that it opens the creativity door wide open to you. You can do whatever you want. You can have the reader answer any questions you want. Like you mentioned, historical fiction. You can have an ask. I am an expert in, I don't know, Civil War era documentaries,
Yeah.
clothing or whatever. I will tell you if any clothing is mischaracterized in your story. You can actually type that in here. So if you want to have it do research, great, give it a shot. I'm not going to, this is all, virtual stuff. So you might want to double check it, but it sure will pick out things for you to look at, right? And identify, oh, maybe that is a problem, or maybe they didn't have that type of glasses at the time, with metal frames. Maybe they were all, I don't know. Who
Zippers.
knew?
Zippers are always a good one.
Oh,
If
it's
you're
the
writing
zipper.
historical, is it an era that has zippers or does it not have zippers? Because I guarantee you, your readers will find it and put it in a review. Yeah, you could definitely. I haven't tried that, but now I immediately want to. For the comment of, can I create someone that is from Gen Z and know the lingo? Not only do I want to create that for my book, I want to create that for understanding my teenager.
I still, I don't know if it can help me, but
Yeah, you can put in and play with this, and because there's no limit to the number of readers you can create, you can fine tune that to what you need. So now, Kevin, one question I got as well was, if I find a reader that I created, it's just not giving me the feedback that I wanted, can I delete them out of my army?
Yes. Let's say you hate this reader.
Yeah, like,
I don't like
boo.
this reader. Boo. So you can do two things. You can delete it, so I don't want to see it in this file,
Mhm.
and so it's gone. And now I could fill up with as many others as I want, right? Or if you go back to the editor here and you delete from this window, this is kind of like your master window here. If I want to delete, I don't know, fantasy reader Kevin here, I'll delete them, and it's going to say, do you want to delete this reader or remove from all your files? So you delete, and there it goes. It's removed from the. You can, it's erased forever. So there's two ways to go about it. In that case, and I want to also draw it to your attention. You mentioned unlimited. Well, in addition to unlimited readers, you might have noticed that when I went ahead and ran this, there's no little ticker. There's no tokens. We don't. You can run it as many times as you want. You can have as many readers as you want. We don't charge per every time you click a button. There's no tokens counting down. This is unlimited. Once you become a professional member of AutoCrit, that's it, right? You're a pro member, and so we don't nickel and dime you going down the road where it ends up costing you, hundreds of dollars a month trying to get feedback electronically from our system. That's not the case with us. We don't do that. We're very open and honest with our readers. You just become a pro member, whether it be you're a monthly member or an annual member, and that's it. You don't have to pay for anything ever again in that case.
And that
inside
includes
our system.
upgrades. So
That's
for
right.
our existing pro members, we've got some questions that have come in that are like, okay, but I became a lifetime member, 5 years ago. Does that mean I have to pay an extra fee to get all of these new cool toys? And like, what do I have to do to get this? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Once you're pro, you get those upgrades. You get whatever we add to the system. So.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to stop sharing. Let me
Okay.
close this window, and we're going to stop sharing and give it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you. So that is super cool. And I hope that you're as excited about Build an Alpha Reader as I am, but this wouldn't be a AutoCrit live stream if we were just limiting to just that announcement, which is amazing. But I get to say, but wait, there's more. So I would like to show you our next surprise that we have, and it's pretty fantastic. Welcome to Story Analyzer Plus. Now, if you are familiar with our Story Analyzer, and I know a lot of you are, we are already the most comprehensive manuscript analysis tool out there. We, again, when we stress that we are built by authors for authors, we have that professional level feedback that was already part of Story Analyzer, but since we were building things, we decided that we were going to supercharge things that we already had to make them better and to respond to the requests that we've had in our community. So I'm very pleased to announce that in addition to the features that we already had in Story Analyzer, we have added themes, genre, story arc, and trope analysis to get that in-depth analysis of your work. We have added multi-POV for our character analysis. So for those of us that write in multi-POV, if you are like me and you write why choose, you can either auto-select or manually enter who those characters are so that you can get the analysis on those characters. You can also auto-select and have it select those for you. It is faster analysis. We have made this so much faster. You do not have to run chapters first. So that is absolutely fantastic. I ran, I think it was about 80,000 words, and it was a couple minutes, like earlier yesterday. It has the outline capability for my friends who are like, beat sheets are great, but I don't use them. I prefer an outline. It's me. I am that person, and I don't even use the outline. I just like to look at it. This is something that is super exciting, that we have that outline capability. We have additional deeper readability tools and so much more that we have kind of enhanced, upgraded, and updated just about everything under the hood of Story Analyzer. And I am just so thrilled with it, from getting that professional level developmental feedback. And what's more is that it's not just telling you, hey, this is in your book. It's sharing the actionable tips. So it's giving you that data, but it's also giving you solutions to how you might fix that. And I think that that is what's been missing from a lot of feedback that people get, is they're like, cool, my character does this, but how do I make that character not do that? What are some suggestions? So having those insights and those tips, I think, are great. But again, I don't want you to hear it from me. I want you to see it. So Kevin, it's all you.
All right, let's see if we can get a quicker screen share this time.
Yeah.
Share.
Okay.
Let me know when you see me there. Oh, you popped over. Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's go back to where the one I haven't run yet. So this is the treasure island I dropped in. Right next to Alpha Read, there's Analyzer Plus, which we can click there, or you can reach it straight from over here with clicking on Analyzer Plus. So navigate how you wish in that case. Now it's just as simple. Once again, we try to keep things super simple at AutoCrit. You click a button. I want to start my analysis. And what's going to happen is it's going to start going through, once again, reading your story. But in this case, instead of being from an alpha reader perspective, this is from industry perspective. This is going to kind of dissect your novel, the premise, the tropes, you name it. Everything that was in, if you're familiar with AutoCrit in the past or Analyzer in the past, has been brought over in here, including backwards blueprint, kind of rolled up, and a lot of the redundancies have been eliminated, and everything is smarter and faster and better now from what we had in the past. So you haven't lost anything with the new update to AutoCrit. We've only gained. We've only added. We've simplified the layout and the location where things are only in one location now, so you don't have to bounce back and forth. And everything that you're going to find is more detailed and more accurate, because at this point, we're reading everything all at once and dissecting your novel as one unit, and not needing to break it up into pieces or summarizations or anything like that anymore. Now it's a whole holistic view of what was written on the paper. So once again, just like I did before, I'm going to jump over to where I have it already done, because this might take a minute or two to run. And you'll notice, let me jump back to the top. We have graphics. So once again, we in the past we showed you what the story premise was, but now we go a step further. In addition to tell you what the story premise is, we also give you the story arc. We give you a story arc analysis, and we'll kind of hit you up with a little more detail and thoroughness than we had in the past. So it's just better. Same with the genre. We always told you the genre was, but now, in addition to just telling what the genre is, we break it down with a nice graph telling you what percentage, what weight we give different elements of the subgenres, so you get a feel for, especially when you're talking to marketability, when you're talking, where I'm going to put this on the shelf. This is super important to know that, really it's not that much of a survival story. It's a little bit, but for the most part, it's more in the seafaring realm, which makes sense. It's a treasure island, so it's a pirate. And again, similar to that, we pull out the tropes, and we're much more accurate now. And just like what Becca was mentioning, not only do we pull things out and tell you, you have a treasure map, X marks the spot trope in the novel, which clearly it does, but we have suggestions on what you could do to do things either better or different, or to hit your genre better. So not only do we tell you what you have, almost all our fields have suggestions of what you could do to either enhance it, improve it, or change it. And once again, it's a suggestion too, so don't get hung up on the fact that we're telling you things aren't necessarily wrong. We're just suggesting what could be done if you wish to do it. Clearly, you're in control here at AutoCrit, as always. We don't want to take the pen or the pencil or the keyboard out of your hands. Right? This is your book. This is your baby. We're giving you suggestions on what it is we see. And that's we try to draw the line there.
And that is another important distinction, I think, Kevin, is that we don't change your work at all at AutoCrit. So if you are like, I don't like that suggestion, I'm not going to take it because I have a plan and my plan is progressing the way I want it to, I'm going to move on to the next field. That's fantastic. We're not going to try to take your voice away with changing, language choices and things like that. This is simply an idea. So as part of this critique, it's very comprehensive critique and feedback that we're giving.
Yes, your work stays here on the left side. We don't touch it. Only you
Yep.
change your text over here. All our ideas and over here on the right side, that's just an analysis of your work, or the alpha read, as we mentioned, that's where that stays. So you are protected in that case. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the fields because this is clearly a pretty substantial report. I just want to kind of highlight some of the new and exciting features. We do a much better job now with point of view, and we're going to get into characters where we do multi-POV, what I'm going to talk about in a second. But even the point of view, just understanding what kind of point of view you have in your story and who are your POV characters are all pulled out here with a graph of and weighted by how often they're the POV person, and then the reliability of those POV characters. And there's going to be shifts and transitions. I know some people were always worried about head hopping and looking for multi-head scenes where if it's not clearly demarcated of when you're shifting POV, could be huge problems. These are big red flags, and we're trying to find them for you and help you understand if those are issues or not. And that's just kind of what that's there. In addition to that, we have conflict analysis and how much of that conflict plays a role in the main story, internal and external. So like I said, if you're familiar with AutoCrit's, analyzer at all, this is just better now. It's just better. I don't know. It's just more detailed and more graphical, easier to read. Everything about it has just been revamped. Okay, so let's go down now. I know one of the big changes we had. If we go through world building here, let's go down to our characters. We can click on characters up here to zoom to that location. Okay, so we've added some pretty neat things with characters in the system. At this point, when you run it, the first thing by default is it's going to auto detect your characters. It's going to find your protagonist, what it thinks is a protagonist, antagonist, based on how the story unfolds as the system read it. If you don't agree, or you have many of them at the beginning here, it's going to say I think this is a single protagonist. You're one character, Jim Hawkins. But if you think, this is a multi-POV, it'll find it if it's strongly written that way, or it thinks that's the case. It will actually auto-identify a multi-POV for you, multi-protagonist, multi-antagonist. But if it, for whatever reason, it doesn't find it, and you say, it just didn't find it, you can choose manually. You can override the system. Now, as you click here, I think Captain Smollett was the protagonist. Or you can say, I don't know, I can't think of Jim Gunn or whatever the guy's name on the island. You think somebody else should have been there, right? And so you can type in as many names as you like, and then just click the rerun button here, generate analysis, or this one protagonist in this case, click it here. It will rerun this from the perspective of that being the protagonist. Now at the beginning, it's going to analyze your choice there and say, was that a good decision for you to say that Captain Smollett was the protagonist? And it'll say, they were definitely, a key protagonist, key person, but he's not the only, but he's not the primary point of view character. Treating Smollett as protagonist is correct, but the list should at minimum include Jim Hawkins and arguably Dr. Livesey if you're going to go there. So you can go this way. It will do it for you, but it's going to give you a suggestion that maybe you're missing other characters that should be in this role. So kind of another indicator is, in addition to we do arcs for the story, we do arcs for the different characters. In this case, Captain Smollett is a flat arc, didn't change throughout the story. So that's another indicator that maybe I didn't pick the right protagonist. It's like usually something happens to the protagonist. In this case, nothing really changed for him. So clearly you can do it however you want. So in addition to the protagonist, you can do the same thing with any of our characters now. You can pick auto detect or manually choose your antagonists, your friendship characters, relationship characters, you name it. So once again, it adds to the creativity and the customization of the system, and to where you can get feedback from the default, and you can also get feedback from a perspective that you want it as well. So we try to give you as much control as possible and much flexibility in kind of seeing things how you want to see it.
We really want you to have the feedback you need to make your work stronger and get it ready for publication. So what you need is going to be different than what I need. So I think that that is really a key point of the Story Analyzer Plus. Everyone's going to get the same fields, but you're able to decide based on your story, for example with POV, how you want that analysis, and which characters you want included. And I think as someone who writes, for example, when I write Why Choose, and I have many characters that I need to see with screen time and see how they interact with each other, this is a fabulous addition to the Story Analyzer suite.
Yes, one size does not fit all.
Nope.
With a book, there's millions of different kinds of books out there. So why would you expect your software to be one size fits all? We're not that. We're really trying to be customizable to your needs. Okay, so let's jump down to the beats now. Then one's the outline here. So by default, it's going to run a plot-centered analysis of your work to try to pull out those signposts of what typically is found in a plot-centered story. This is more like a Save the Cat-esque style analysis where we're looking for the opening image, the inciting incident, the darkest day, those kind of things all come through, and we're going to analyze it and find it. Now, if you've used this in the past with AutoCrit, with some of our earlier versions of this, please try it again, because we've really enhanced this, and we put a lot of effort into the accuracy and the viability, and the feedback you're going to get is much improved. As the world improves with technology, so do we. So we constantly make our systems better, and so please try it again if you have a chance. I really recommend it, because I think you're going to be surprised on how good things are getting with regard to our system. Okay, I don't want to go through all this because it's a whole nother thing about running beats, but I do want to show the fact that we have a new feature now on our drop down, so you can actually pick plot center, romance, mystery, horror, short story, character center. That's hero's journey. If you're familiar with the hero's journey, that's kind of that one. And then outline. Our new one's outline. So if you choose outline, click generate analysis, it's going to automatically build, based on your text, a 3-act structure by default outline of your story. It's going to be, pretty skeleton and bare bones for an outline, but sometimes the best outlines are, it's not as much detail. Sometimes it's just a skeleton of it's all you need, right? But clearly, since as all our fields in AutoCrit now are editable, if you want to make it a 7-act structure, or who the heck knows, there's a million different kinds of ways to outline. We're not going to build everybody, but once everything is customizable, you can go ahead and add your text as you wish, and you can modify it and or start from scratch. Or if you have an outline on your word processor somewhere, heck, why don't you just copy and paste it here so it sits inside of AutoCrit? You can paste as much text as you want in here. You can just copy and paste your outline into the right sidebar, and it'll save, and it'll always be there, so that when you come back, just like our alpha readers are right there, your analyzer is going to be there. You can have your outline live next to where you're writing, and you can just close it and there. And then anytime you want to come back to it, just click Analyzer Plus, and there you go. Go to Beats and Outline. There's your outline right next to your writing. So you can use it. You can auto-generate it like we showed you, or you can copy and paste in your own, or start from scratch. We don't care. We're happy with you just using the tool and experiencing how efficient it can be, and how to simplify your life, and where all your different notes and things are all flowing around you. Try to keep things somewhat organized. We're trying. It's always a goal to. It's that theory of organization. The best organization happens when you're not even thinking about it, right? So that's what we're trying to do, is we're going to organize your life without you even doing anything. Would be amazing, right? So you don't have to even think about where you left things off. Okay, I think with that, I'm happy with Analyzer Plus. I'm going to stop share and give it back to you.
Awesome. So I would like to say, did you think we were done? I mean, these are two pretty massive upgrades and massive new things that we have here at AutoCrit. Build an alpha reader, game changer. Story Analyzer Plus, we just took the most comprehensive manuscript analysis and critique tool and just made it even better. That is not it today. We actually have more. And I know we weren't supposed to pick favorites, Kevin, but I did. I'm a rebel. This is my favorite new thing that we have added. And so without further ado, I must introduce you to... Oh, wait. Why does it... Oh, and then, of course, I don't click. It's the extra suspense for you. Build a beta reader. Okay, this is oh my gosh, so much work has gone into this. So much work that I'm actually coughing talking about it because I'm so excited. Meet your beta reader dream team. Beta readers show how your finished manuscript lands, right? They are the ones that we use after excuse me. They are the ones that we use after we've gone through the editing process. This is our target audience. Beta readers are the first readers that we have that we're targeting. They're our first they're the people that we need the feedback from because they're going to tell us how our manuscript's going to land with our audience. And finding good ones are hard. It's hard. I have some that have been with me for years and I treasure them. But getting great beta feedback in a timely manner that has actionable insights, it's an ongoing challenge here in our author community. So we decided to build our own build a beta reader. And it is, again, like build an alpha reader, 100% customizable, because I don't know about you, but I have my own list of questions that I ask my beta readers specifically about my book because that's the information that I want from each book. And I know other people have different questions that they ask. And we might want to take our target demographics and put them in there because I want a very specific reader to be giving me feedback on my book. I also don't always want positive feedback. I want critic level feedback from my beta readers because if there's something wrong, I guarantee you my reviews are going to find it and I want to know beforehand. And I also just want, I don't know, I did make one of my beta readers, my build a beta reader army, be kind of mean to me, but it was really helpful feedback. So you can still save your profiles, you can still use the templates that we built in, or you could make new ones. But this is giving you that kind of feedback you need to strengthen your book and to get it on demand. Where previously you might have to wait 6 weeks for your beta reader who has a life outside of beta reading for you to read it, hopefully give you some notes, and you can carry on with your life. Or you could have 5 different beta readers in our system give you feedback while you go refill your coffee cup. The choice is yours. So this is a absolutely incredible feature. I want Kevin to show it to you because I am just so excited about it. And yeah, this is my favorite thing that we have added so far this year.
Okay, let me know when you can see my screen again. Maybe?
Yep.
Perfect. You never know with the delay here. Okay. All right. So just like with the Alpha Read, the Analyzer Plus, once again, it's in the same side menu and or once you get in, it's at the top here. Beta Reader. This is the easiest one to demonstrate because it's eerily similar to Alpha Reader, where you simply need to select your reader and it pulls up the same readers that you had built before. So you can save them as Alpha Readers and Beta Readers. I'll show you how to do that real quick here. Let's say we wanted Sour Sally. Let's duplicate Sour Sally here and say she's a beta reader, right? You can create versions of them. They may ask different questions. And there you go. You can run that and just click start reading. So it's very, very simple. And clearly, just as Becca mentioned, if you find somebody that, you know what, one of your templates doesn't suit my needs either. So you can create your new reader profile from scratch by clicking here and pick an image. I'll pick this handsome guy here. And Kevin, the computer nerd, right? And then you can type their characteristics in. College educated, loves computers, reads 10 books a month, whatever. You can put what they like to watch, all this kind of stuff. Just like with any of the other side, with the alpha readers, same with the beta readers, you can create whatever profile you want. Create the profile. It's going to generate based on the characteristics you had in there. It's going to flush that out for you, and you're going to have a beta reader profile, right? Computer enthusiast didn't call it a computer nerd. It must not like the word nerd. Anyway, I can create, and there you go. Then just click start reading, and that character you created now is reading it as a beta reader. Now it's going to be a little bit different than the alpha read as Becca mentioned, this is usually happens at a point where the work is a little bit more polished. I'm not going to say ready for publication, but you're further down the road and usually pretty close. You're trying to get that, I guess, final polish in there and see what your actual audience is going to feel like. So your alpha reading questions aren't going to necessarily be the same questions that you're going to be asking as your beta reader. So it has a little bit of a different flair. I'm going to show you, I'm going to jump over once again to one that I've already pre-run. In this case, I ran Treasure Island with an analyzer, and now I have also a character called Pirate Pete, reading it. So you're going to get the same type of scores, but instead of story, it's called craft, but it has the same feel to it. How well was it written? And once again, you're going to have a reader fit element to it. And it's not only going to tell you the scores. I didn't go to this before, but it's going to tell you why it scored it that way. And it's going to tell you why. So this is probably more important than the actual scores. Like, why did it like it or why didn't they like it? Give your favorite lines.
I love the favorite line.
The favorite line is, 15 minutes, that's pretty classic from Treasure Island there. In addition to that, we're going to get the emotion that reader felt in every single chapter and the strength of that emotion. So you can get a feel for, was your reader gasping? Were they crying? Were they scared? Were they angry? Like, what happened? What would they feel when they read that chapter? Because those are mind blown this here. So, and how strong was it? So once again, a little bit similar to a pacing-esque type thing. You want to see how you're pulling the heartstrings of your reader, and emotionally, is it all way pegged out the whole way? And then is it a thriller that you want to keep them on the edge of their seat, or is it a little bit more of a slow burn? Some sort of a romantic comedy or something like that. But even then, you kind of want to have some variability in the emotion that you're driving, so you can see if you have any, I guess, emotionally lagging areas in your story that you need to address. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but it really, this is another reason why I don't want to go through it in detail, because honestly, you're going to get some similar things, but it's really dependent on the character that you create. So your personal beta reader is going to have a little bit different feedback than what I'm going to show you. It's not fixed in, set in stone here. It's always going to provide the score at the top. It's always going to provide the emotions through, and it's going to give you a final thought. But kind of everything in the middle is really customizable to your demands and your needs. So it's going to be unique to you, and when you create it. So I also want to show, I think we mentioned earlier, as we get in touch with some of the boundaries, what content they will or will not read. I ran some stuff before. This is not Treasure Island any longer. This is something spicy I found laying around that I had somebody read. In this case, it's a cozy mystery reader. You notice that the reader fit was 0%. So those content boundaries do matter.
Yep.
Right. This was an erotic, spicy, I think it's some sort of mafia romance thing, and it was written okay. It was a published work, but the fit was like, I don't want to read this at all. This is terrible. But it still gave you the feedback and gave you the why it rated it that way. So it's super important if you're dealing with a boundary sensitive elements in your work, that you can run it by different beta readers that you create. And even then, I ran the romance reader. You thought, it'll be fine. No, romance readers, they're not all the same. There's still boundaries inside of romance. Clearly, some people like different types, and there's a grading scales on how risky you wanted to go there. So this is still not good enough for this romance reader. So then I created one. I edited the thing. I said, down at the bottom, I have no boundaries, right? So I put in there, this reader is a romance reader with no boundaries, and this person absolutely loved it. 92%. This is their jam. This is exactly what they wanted. They didn't have any boundaries. This is a romance with everything in it that they could ever dream of. So there you go, right? So difference between just tweaking your readers, whether it be the alpha or the beta side, is huge, and you get customized results based on that. And that's the fun of it inside of AutoCrit. Really is, hopefully, in addition to it being almost instantaneous, your feedback, it's going to actually motivate you, hopefully, to write better for your readers, because you're getting that feedback instantly. You're not waiting weeks or days. You're not, it's not getting nickel and dime and paying people for terrible feedback. This is going to motivate you at different stages of your writing to hopefully write better and write to an audience and achieve your goals. So let me stop. Oh, you're going to have something to say?
Oh, yeah. I was like, can you go back to Treasure Island real fast?
Sure.
Okay, so if you're scrolling down, and we have, who's in here? Pirate Pete. I love Pirate Pete. So
Yep.
you notice that it says craft 89%, reader fit 97%. Now, previously in alpha read, that the story, we had story was the word instead of craft. So again, that percentage is going to be kind of how polished, how well is this written? Whereas the reader fit is, once again, how much does this content, what you wrote, meet the needs of the reader that you created as your beta reader? So as we demonstrated, with the spicy stuff, and Lord knows spicy is my jam, I'm not going to write spicy things. Oh wait, oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, oh no, where did it go? But we have the explanations down in there. So Pirate Pete picked amazed, and the Y down in there. And my screen is really small, so it's hard for me to read it. But this gives you that explanation. It gives you thoughts that you can then take. And where the other question I get all the time is, what happens if my beta readers disagree? Well, they're going to disagree, and you are the author because you have different people reading. How many times have you had like a human beta reader they're all saying the same thing? Probably not, because each persona, each member of your beta reading dream team is going to pull out different things based on the characteristics of the type of reader that they are. So I want, just because one beta reader says Pirate Pete's like are more pirates, and the Cozy Mystery is like, okay, maybe more pirates, maybe not. The goal for you as an author is to take that feedback, process it through the goals for your book, and to use what is relevant to you. So I think that that is a question I have received this week from some of our users of, I have 5 different beta reader feedback things. They all say, they all pull out different elements. Does that mean I have to change my work? And the answer to that is no, you do not. You take the feedback that is helpful and relevant to the goal of the book that you are in charge of, because you are the author.
Yes.
Sorry, that's my little spiel, because I don't want people to be like, Pirate Pete said.
Yeah.
Pirate Pete said I had to add more pirates. You don't have
Yes.
to add more pirates unless you want more pirates.
Yes. And if you do add more pirates, let's say you did make a change. You added a whole chapter about pirates, or who knows, whales or something. So you make a change to your text over here, right? I mean, you can click this button here and it'll reread your text.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get updated, I made some changes based on your feedback, run it again and get and see what happens, right? You see if your scores change, see if what they picked, what their favorite line, what their emotion, if they changed, or if you're trying, whatever you're trying to manipulate, and you want to just have them read it again. And that's the beauty of using it in our system, is that you can just keep running it unlimited number of times and keep polishing and have the freedom of doing that. All right, I'm going to stop sharing yet again.
All right. Are you guys excited? I hope you're excited, because also we're not done. My screen will get shared in just a second. There's a little bit of a lag. Okay. Do you see my screen, Kevin?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I can still talk.
There
There we are. Okay. All right. So we are not done. I do have another thing to show you, and I am equally thrilled about this because it is so helpful. I hope that if you are familiar with AutoCrit, that you are also familiar with Market Fuel. We launched Market Fuel about a year ago, wouldn't you say, Kevin? Has it been a full year?
I think it's been over a year, just
It's been
barely.
over a year.
I think somewhere around. I would say 12 months is accurate enough. Good enough.
Okay. Yes. And Market Fuel was, this incredibly new avenue, I guess, that we went with AutoCrit. So it's not just about polishing your book, which is great. We need to do that. We need polishing feedback. We want to make sure that your book is solid. But we also want you to sell your book. I genuinely want all of you to sell your book. And in order to do that, you need market insight. And I don't know about you, but doing market research can be exhausting and it can be difficult, especially if you are coming from the creative side and you're just like, I don't even know what that means. What do you mean I need to do this kind of market research? So we're created Market Fuel a year ago to help give you some insight into who your target demographics are. Who is your target audience? Who did you write this for? What are the categories that this book would fit into, whether that be categories from bisex for if you are going wide, or categories on Amazon. What keywords could you possibly use to help sell this book and boost discoverability? What are some suggestions for a series title for this book? What is some a good way to start a description or sales copy? Or maybe I need help coming up with something snappy to put on a Facebook ad to sell my book if I'm doing it that way. So we created Market Fuel. And I forgot. And marketing hooks. How did I forget that? I use that every day. Marketing hooks is where it reads your entire book, and it's going to pull out those snappy bits of dialogue, or that really snappy imagery, or those things that are your hooks that you can then put on a video that maybe you're going to post to TikTok, or you can put it on marketing copy. So we have all of these things already, and now we made it better. So we adjusted that analysis so that it is giving you even more relevant information about how you need to position your book in the market. It is now reading the entire text instead of the chapter summary. So you're going to get additional hooks and changes and more fine tuning of where this positioning kind of works out. And it gives you that clearer picture. And it has this in literally a click of a button. So instead of searching for hours for all of your comp titles, you can start with a list of titles that kind of help you in that search, things that are similar to your book. And it's going to tell you why, because as I like to use as an example, if I write a romantasy and about the Fae, which I love to read romantasy and I love to read about the Fae, if I write that and someone's like, cool, you wrote a book like ACOTAR. Great. I would love my audience to be the same as ACOTAR's audience. That is a great day to be Becca. But if I don't know why it's like ACOTAR, if I don't know what part of that positioning is similar to ACOTAR, then that's going to be a little too broad. So having a why for the comp titles is really important, because maybe my book is like ACOTAR because it's fantasy, romantasy with Fae. That's a pretty broad generalization. Or maybe it's because of the different courts or the heroine or what have you. So these are different things that I find super, super helpful. And one of the reasons why I absolutely freaking love Market Fuel. So that is just the updates there. I don't know if you wanted to show that, or if we just wanted, in the interest of time, just to talk about it. However you want to do it, Kevin.
Let me show where it's at, and then we can go
Okay.
from there. I think you did a great job of explaining. Let me know when you can see. Share screen. Window share. And you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So just like everything else, you can either access it from the right sidebar, Market Fuel. At the end, you run it, and as Becca mentioned, if you tried Market Fuel in the past, please try it again, because we have completely revamped it under the hood, and it's much better, more accurate, consistent, and detailed with what you're going to get with regard to a market analysis, similar books, like you mentioned. Log line options. We added log lines in addition to book blurb options you have for different styles of book blurbs. So anything you can think of, including all the search, the keywords, it has just a plethora of information with regard to how you market, how you have what potential lead magnets you could be using. And also pick some lines and why I like those, from the hooks inside your story. So I don't want to go into too much more detail other than the fact that it's super easy to find, just like everything else in AutoCrit. If you can navigate and if you can click a button, you're pretty much golden here, because you just hit start analysis and there you go. It's that simple inside the system. So hopefully everything with the new updates, don't worry if you're familiar with AutoCrit in the past. You don't have to really learn anything new. Hopefully everything is very, very familiar and simple to you. In fact, it should be better and easier to navigate and work on than ever before. So with that, I think that's all we're going to talk about today. There's more coming. Don't worry, we're not done yet this year, but yes, we're super excited to have this big push come out now. When we did, I'm personally super excited. I've been working on it for months now, so I'm excited to see it breathe in the open air with our users are just loving it from the feedback we've gotten so far this week.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And I just, again, a reminder, if you're already a pro member, we are not about to charge you additional like per report fees or an additional fee to get this. If you're already a pro member, this is already in your account. You do not have to do anything. If you're lifetime, you're like, cool, when do I get this? You already have it. If you are monthly, you already have it. If you are annual or semi-annual, you already have that. We're not about the token system. We're not about the charging per report. I know that I require, because I like feedback, I require quite a bit of feedback. So I don't want to spend money per report to do that. I want it all available to me as many times as I want to run it. So I have that.
I can't tell you how many times you accidentally maybe only copy half your book in or something, and you click the button and you're like, that just cost me $15. You know, and then you have to. We don't do that. No worries. Just
nope.
make your corrections, make your fixes, click the button again. We don't care. We're not counting how many times you click buttons here.
Nope.
It's not necessary.
So I think that's everything that we had. Like Kevin said, we are not done yet this year, and I am still back to keeping secrets, and I'll be the first one to spill them as soon as I'm allowed to. And yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, and the people that ask about nonfiction. Nonfiction got the same treatment. We did not demo this on YouTube today, but if you are a nonfiction AutoCrit pro member, you have all of these same features. So you can build alpha readers too. You can build beta readers. You have your market fuel, and Story Analyzer Plus has all been improved, and you can do that for your nonfiction side. We also have for the story builder, we have supercharge that as well to match the new Story Analyzer Plus and the new upgrades to Market Fuel. So Story Builder did get some additional treatment as well. And in the interest of time, we chose to shine the light on our alpha reader, beta reader, and so on. So this is really exciting for us here at AutoCrit. Again, we have an all human support team. So if you have questions about how to use these things, please come ask us. We are here to help. This was all of our author coaches. We are all working full-time authors, and we have been integral in part of the planning for this and the testing for this and working on it, on how it works with our own work and things of that nature. So this has been such an exciting time to be part of AutoCrit, and I'm really, really, really excited for all of you to go and play with it. So with that, I'm out of things, Kevin, unless you have.
All good. I'm super excited. I'm holding on to all my other secrets to the next time.
I know, it's hard though. All right, folks. There is, again, the links are in the chat, as well as I believe they're going to be in the bottom of this thumbnail for this video, so you can follow those. We do have Novel 90 starting, so please come write with us for 90 days. That starts October 1st. If you see this after October 1st, join anyway. We want you there. You can register for your team at www.novel90 in 90 the numbers .com and join. I am coach of Team Plancer. We have Catherine on the call, who is the coach of Team Pantser, and Kat couldn't be with us because I think she's asleep. It is in Australia. Kat is in Australia, and she is the coach of Team Planner. So we would love to have you join tens of thousands of other authors in this 90-day challenge to not only plan, write, and edit your book, but join in some community and learn from some best-selling authors and guests. We have a lot of guests that we're bringing in this year, and just kind of learn how to write and hopefully sell your book. So Now I'm
It's
really,
gonna be tons of fun.
yeah.
I'm excited for it to start. It's like October's gonna be here before I know it.
It's
coming
the
around the corner.
27th already,
know.
so there's still time to get
Yeah.
involved in this, and we would love to have you. And it's free, 100%
Mhm.
free. You don't have to be an AutoCrit member. You can just join in and get your book done.
Nice.
All right, friends. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.